Greetings, everyone. Welcome to my 1000th video. And here's a surprise. Smurfs The Lost Village. Since Mr. Critic again gonna review it, it's time to revisit it once again. Despite that, everybody talked about this movie before. I'm saying this film is not the best one that came out in 2017. I know what you're thinking. Didn't I already talk about this before already? Well, it's another re-review. And look at my cool hat. Isn't it neat? I look like a great evil, take away the bad guy, a Riddler, except I don't have the mask on. I think the closest one I got is like, I would say, Leonardo's mask from TNT. I could wear that and look like the Riddler from the 90s cartoon. Anyways, this time I'm not going to show any clips of the movie, because I got copyrighted last time. Those of you already know about the Smurfs. Trust me, those of you already watched like the 80s show. There's like a fun fact that the very first Smurf movie they ever did was in the 70s. Those of you who have watched it before, it's called Smurfs and the Magic Flute, which unfortunately doesn't show the Smurfs until a half an hour into the movie, where we get Johann and Pee-wee being the main characters of the story. So I'm not going to show much into the movie, but I will explain about the film and plot. So this is going to be like, shall we say, a review of the movie. I did it a long time ago. So basically, the Smurfs, this movie's about how if there's like anything special about Smurfette, and that she tries to be special, and finds there's like more instead of them. And I won't give too much spoilers, those of you who haven't seen the film yet. And despite this film came out so long ago, already 6 years old. After watching those terrible, dreadful live-action movies that they did since 2011. But another fun fact, they finally did like the 2D short ones, which are the holiday ones. The Smurfs Holiday Xmas one. There's Smurfy Hollow, which is also a classic 2D hand-drawn and Halloween special, which they did a few years back. So, maybe a couple of years later, they finally got to do them all. Animated movie of all time. And I'm surprised they're still doing it to this very day, including have their own TV show as well. Anyhow, the movie's plot convenience is instead of Gargamel turning them all into gold or eating them, but Robot Chicken already did that, apparently. And this time he's not voiced by Hank Azaria, like in the other movies. Yeah, but we have our main villain, Azrael, which means Angel of Death. In this movie, his evil plan, he wants to use all the Smurfs' essence, so he become the most powerful magician wizard in the world. Anyhow, oh, there's another name attraction Monty, a wacky, not so bright vulture bird. So now Gargamel has more than one pet, besides Azrael that always chases the Smurfs to eat them. Now has a wacky sidekick vulture, Monty. A fun fact, the bird is a redesign of those other nasty birds that the Smurfs encounter in the old 80s cartoon. So the basic plot, and I keep on saying it so many times, is seeing Smurf that find, well, female ones that are like her. Besides, she was created by Gargamel himself. Find the Lost Village. This movie does have like a bit of humor, slapstick, tragic moments, bit of so-called good-looking quality animation, wonderful voice actors, which I will not say, but I already explained them last time. So this is why I'm talking about it as a re-review of the movie, since nobody this year wants to talk about this film, as it's long forgotten, like the most of the other films. But like I said, I'm not gonna show too much of the film. But it does have interesting characters and well-designed backgrounds. It looks incredible, just like watching the old show, but all 3D model. It has like its, word for it, potential moments of pure beautiness. The word for it, it's acceptable. It can be a bit more to the children's attention. Those of them love Smurfs, they'll probably enjoy this film more than anything. Believe me, there's like 9 seasons of the show. Yes, I'm not kidding, there's like 9 seasons of the Smurfs that started in 1981 toward the mid-90s. I would say it lasted since maybe 1991 or 92, and lots of product placements. And you also had that, well, so-called Smurfberries commercials. I probably showed you that one time. Lots of toys. Let me think. Most likely. Oh yes, that's right. Video games. There's lots of video games of them. The very first one was Gargamel's Castle on the Atari 2600, and most likely other systems. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and do the other ones on different systems. PlayStation 1, and most likely the sequel, and I do not mean one from the 90s, but basically one from the movies, on every system, on the Wii, Xbox 360, yada yada yada. And a new one called Leaf, that's on every system. There's not much else I could say about this movie, because those of you who watched this movie before, it's just Smurfs find a lost, forgotten village of them finding, and that's true actual beautiness of background, so incredibly, the word for it, uniquely passable. I'll explain the rest of it in part 2.